Akira.
Whoops.
All right, all right, all right.
There you go. You were muted on Discord. Oh, I missed it. Are you all right, all right, all righting? Nice. Oh. Oh, apparently they can't hear you. Yeah, I don't know why, because I can hear you. Interesting. Do you have like I can hear you on Discord, so your Discord's mic is working, but do you have like a different input set on the streaming software? It's the same mic?
How about now? Can you hear it now? Oh, we had no music, background music going either. Check, check. Hello. I wonder if they can hear me now. I realized the audio. Okay, we good. I didn't realize that. So Will and I had. Hello, everyone. Welcome again. Will had to take over the hosting last Friday, and the settings get saved between each of us messing with it. So Will, I didn't realize that you had muted or you had hid audio input capture, but I think we're good now. We had some tunes going, no big deal. Welcome.
Wait, I could hear the tunes though.
Oh yeah, that's weird. I don't know.
That is weird. Oh well, it's working now.
It doesn't matter. We got it fixed.
We'll figure it out later.
You know, this is the joys of doing stuff live, right? But again, welcome to the show. We had a quick poll. I think I closed it on accident because I was trying to figure out what was going on. So that poll is dead now. But we are going to be talking about some of your questions you have about D&D or DMing and some of your theories and thoughts about Critical Role and Worlds Beyond. So make sure you write those things in the chat channel if you have a certain question or a theory. And then also in the Discord, we have a channel called Pixelbits live stream, which we've already gotten a handful of really good questions. But all that to say, technical issues aside, Will, my friend, how are you today?
I'm good, man. I'm actually impressed that you still got the green screen background for me. I didn't know if that would survive.
You know, I thought it's actually, I don't remember where we got that. I think you got that originally, but we've used it for some video content. I personally really like it. And I figure, you know, why not keep using it, right? It was already here since you had done the settings last week. So I thought, yeah, let's just keep that. But
perfect. But yeah, I'm doing good, man. It's Friday. You know, it's about to be Christmas, so I'm excited for that. The vibes are good. I've got my coffee.
Of course.
I've been saving the first sip for this
today.
moment right now.
Nice mug, by the way.
You know,
little Thor's hammer.
I am worthy, as it turns out.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's debatable.
But I'm doing good, man. How about you?
I'm good. I had to go get some blood work today, just like annual checkup.
Oh.
And I thought that it would be like a quick in and out thing because I have a bunch of stuff to do today.
Mm-hmm.
I got home about 30 minutes ago. So I literally...
Wait, when did you go?
I left at 9 this morning.
Oh.
And so it took an eternity, honestly. But, you know, that's just the way it goes, right?
Yeah, it's the worst. A bunch of waiting, I presume.
Yeah, but I had my toddler with me, my daughter, and it was fun. I mean, she had a ton of questions like, what's happening? So, anywho, yeah. And Joshua, Merry Christmas. Thank you so much. We are excited to have you all tuning in today. Will, I know something top of mind for me, if we can just dive right in, and then we can get to like some of the questions, which, by the way, thank you guys who have submitted questions into that Discord channel. Really appreciate that. I want to talk about Kang. I want to talk about Jonathan Majors.
Oh, yeah.
Fired from the MCU, found guilty assault, I think. Wasn't good regardless of whatever the charge was exactly. Fired from the MCU. Will, you and I chatted a little bit about, before all this went down, there were rumors about them actually scrapping Kang Dynasty and going with Doctor Doom. Now this question's kind of front and center again. What's going to happen? Are they going to recast Jonathan Majors? Or have they sort of dealt with that storyline and they're moving on? What do you think about all this?
All right, so slight Loki spoilers. I'm not going to get into it, but just for, still wanted to give that warning. Given how Loki season 2 ended, I think if they wanted to, they could kind of just move away from Kang. But for my money, I would rather them recast. Because I want to see Doctor Doom like real bad, and I want it to be done well. So I don't like the idea of Doctor Doom like coming in as a patchwork band-aid to fix the situation they find themselves in.
Right.
Like maybe they could still do it well, but I'd rather not take that risk. Like get a new actor, finish this Kang stuff out, and then set up Doom properly. Which maybe they already were planning on setting up Doom like soon, but like I just don't think they should like cut paste do like and still have whatever story they wanted to have with Kang Dynasty, but just have it be Doom instead. So
yeah, I can see that.
I don't know. What about you?
I feel pretty satisfied with Kang's storyline. I mean, I think if I'm like a comic book reader, I would want a lot more because I think there was quite a bit of substance around Kang. Filmatic just gave you a great compliment. Where's the love, Filmatic? What the heck? No.
You can't teach it, man. You can't teach it.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, I feel pretty satisfied with how that storyline has currently wrapped up. I will say a couple of details. I think they've already changed the name in terms of pre-production. Now it's just simply called Avengers 5 instead of Kang Dynasty, which seems like they're keeping it open-ended to see what they want to do. I think in general, Marvel's a little unclear in terms of like their creative direction. It doesn't feel like it's as solid as it was with, leading up to Endgame and, rather Infinity War. So maybe they're not even sure.
I mean, they've been struggling recently, let's be honest, but we know lots of this whole situation included, obviously, but even before this, like they scrapped the entire Daredevil team and like started over.
Right.
Like a lot of not everything, like Loki was incredible. And there have been a few diamonds in the rough, in my opinion, but a lot of the stuff has been mediocre compared to kind of what we're used to. Maybe this is good, like
it went from Marvel was like, I rarely went to go see movies. Marvel went from something where it was like the one time I got out of the house to go see a movie to feeling pretty indifferent over nowadays. Yeah. So, which some people have said, we've kind of killed the superhero industry. Like it's oversaturated. I don't know if that's necessarily the truth. I think just the quality isn't. I mean, maybe it's a little bit of both, but I haven't really seen a movie from the MCU that I've been like really impressed by, except for maybe Black Panther. But like
Black Panther, Spider-Man, Far From Home, and then I'm not giving this one Marvel. I'm not giving the credit to Marvel for this one, but Spider-Verse 2 was incredible.
Didn't see it, but I did.
Have you seen it yet?
I haven't seen it, but someone gave me like a very emotional sounds like a negative. They were talking about how like deeply impacted they were by Spider-Verse 2 in like a genuine way. And so I want to see it. I just haven't been able to
Have you
yet.
seen the first one?
Mm-mm.
Bro, in the stream. I'm done.
We out.
In the Pixelus is dissolved.
I liked Far From Home a lot, actually, but I still probably wouldn't say it was like seeing Winter Soldier. I just felt epic, and I walked away with like a deep sense of completeness. Like
that's like the best movie they've ever made, arguably.
That's
but
true.
I would agree.
That's true.
Bro, we got next after the holidays. Our next watch parties might have to be Spider-Verse. Those movies are so good.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
They're S tier.
Wow. Okay.
No, I don't say that lightly. If y'all have seen it in the chat, let me know if you agree.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm taking crazy pills over here.
No, I'm just kidding.
But also, on Marvel, I forgot. Keep wanting to say what's up. What If season 2? I think premiered either today or yesterday, and they're doing an interesting release schedule where they're doing one episode every day, like as like a holiday thing. Which I haven't watched it yet. I will watch it because for those of you that haven't been following us since we started, What If was one of the first things we covered.
Yeah.
It was fun. We both enjoyed it, I think.
Yeah, I watched.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to.
Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. I was just gonna say it'd be interesting to see what the quality level of that is.
Yeah, I watched it with my wife Joy, who, for you guys who haven't heard me talk about her, she is not a nerd at all. So like our marriage is basically summed up as me like trying to reel her in to like nerdy things. And so she had never seen anything animated that had like like she associated like animated with like Bugs Bunny, I guess. I don't know. Like just silly stuff, like Powerpuff Girls, whatever. And I was like, no, like there's animated stuff that is like deeply compelling and meaningful. So watching What If with her was really cool because there were some I think the first like 3 or 4 episodes were pretty dark. But
yeah, some of them were really dark.
Really good. It was great. That was a great series, man. Like
that Doctor Strange episode.
Yes,
that was really
fantastic. And I love also the completeness of the whole show. Of you think every episode is isolated, and then without spoiling anything, they bring in some details later on. So very good. I'm excited to see season 2. Whenever I can find some time to watch it with Joy.
Because of that, though, I don't want to spin forever on this, but because of that, I'm curious if they can because there was that element of season 1 where it was like standalone story, but then they are connected. In season 2, they can't really do that same thing again, right? Because we already know. So I'm interested to see if So I'm interested to see if they like try to do a connected story like from the jump, or if there is somewhat of a return of standalone stories, and then maybe I don't know.
Reading some of the comments in our chat. Marudal said, I don't know. I usually like to go see movies with friends, and it's kind of hard to convince people to spend so much money to go see a movie. So just wait. Yeah. You know what's funny is we were looking at a matinee. My brother-in-law was in town because we did our other family's Christmas this last weekend. He said a matinee movie ticket is $19 in New York City.
Oh, bro, I believe it, man.
That's crazy. I mean, doesn't it just blow your mind? Like $19. It's just wild, man, for sure. Yeah. Kevin said, at the risk of being unpopular for sharing my honest opinion, I think the Spider-Verse movies are good. You're definitely in good company with Will over here. I'm not even implying they weren't good. I think I've universally heard they're very good. So, and then Filmatic said the Kang situation is tricky because, as you said, they kind of had to move away from Kang entirely, but Major still had the big contract. And Marudal said it's hard to keep track of the Marvel movies nowadays. There's so many series. They really have expanded. It's become so much. It already felt like a big IP. Now it's like so much larger than that, even today. So,
yeah, for sure.
Brewmancer, sorry, I'm just kind of going through some of these comments. And then lastly, Brewmancer said the Doctor Strange episode hit different. It really did. That one was really good.
Yeah, what was it called? Like, what if Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands or something?
Yeah.
Good. It was good. It was. Did you get a chance? I don't think you did, but did you get a chance to watch CR last night?
I did not. Well, Kind of. I tuned in about 2 hours late, and after about 10 minutes of that, I thought I should really try to not spoil anything, so I turned it off.
Okay.
So
I'm glad you did that.
Yeah, there was some really kind of heavy-ish dialogue happening, and I was like, I should probably save this. So I have not seen it.
Okay.
Did you watch it?
I did.
While doing your little BFD rating?
Yeah, that only took like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good.
Okay.
I won't say anything else. But yeah,
okay.
We got a little bit to wait for the next one now.
One other detail about Marvel is they tapped Michael Waldron to write Avengers 5. Michael Waldron created Loki. So I'm really excited and interested at that. However, he was also the writer for Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness. So we're kind of seeing, his opus magnus, whatever that expression is. What is it? I don't know.
Magnum opus.
Okay, I got it backwards.
you were close.
I got the two words. And also, so
yeah.
I know we both agreed that Multiverse of Madness was trash. So
it was okay. It wasn't great. The one that was trash was Thor: Love and Thunder. That's the one we agreed on was awful.
I don't know. Let's see here. Joshua said the level is rising in CR. Did they level up, or was that just like the intensity is increasing?
I think the intensity. I don't think they leveled up, but maybe I missed it.
Moo Riddle says no. It's Opus Magnus now.
Feels like the name of a character in like a really edgy, like online fanfic.
Yeah. Well, we're getting towards the end of our stream. Let's get some of these questions. Let me see here. Okay, here's a really interesting question that I think you might like. The prize wrote, serious question, pick a multi-class for each Bells Hells who hasn't multi-classed yet. That would be Chetney's Rogue, FCG, who's a cleric, Imogen, who's a sorcerer, and Oram, who is a fighter. Don't necessarily...
Well, Chetney's multi-class. He's also
right.
Blood Hunter.
That's true, actually. So would it just be FCG, Imogen, and Oram then? Because Fern's multi-classed.
Mm-hmm.
She's rogue and druid. Laudna is wizard or warlock and sorcerer.
Warlock, sorcerer, and Chet.
Yeah, and then Ashton has it multi-classed, right? He's a barbarian.
I don't think so. I think Ashton's just barbarian.
Okay, so maybe just for the sake of time, we pick one of those characters, or maybe we can each pick one.
For what we want to see.
Yeah, what would be
what would be cool?
What would be cool? I guess. I think
if you got one, go ahead.
Well, I think the only reason I'm drawn to Oram is that, and I'm going to kind of speak out of both sides of my mouth here. Fighter is pretty notoriously a weaker class. Having said that, Liam has played Oram extremely well, and you never have gotten a sense of like Oram the fighter being a weaker. I mean, it feels like a pretty core character on the team. I do think it would be interesting to see Oram multi-class into. I mean, I'm trying to think of like here's what's tough about this question is it has to make sense like lore wise, but also a lot of times when we approach D&D, when people multi-class, they're trying to like kind of complement things. So like, for example, Paladin is often associated multi-classing with Warlock and vice versa, because Warlocks get their spell slots back after a short rest. And in general, Paladins are extremely strong in addition to their Divine Smite.
Right.
So whether the lore reason is there or not, we often see those two classes go hand in hand.
Like a little Malcolm?
Yeah, a little Malcolm action, which was one of my players for one of Will's campaigns. So I could see Oram only in the sense of it could be interesting, like a druid fighter might be kind of interesting. I mean, the storylines are there, and it's a bit
learns from Keyleth maybe a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little
some burn action.
It's a little untraditional, right? I could also see cheating on my own question when I said just pick one. I could see FCG Like,
Don't steal my answer, bro.
okay, my bad. You go ahead. You go ahead.
That's what I was gonna say.
You go ahead.
I was gonna go with FCG just because I think that would be cool lore wise. If there's like, I still want to hear your answer, by the way, but I didn't want the accusation to come out that I was copying. So, I could see like a cool story thread of FCG, like fully remembering, but then more so on top of that, then like coming to peace with their past and, you know, being created for violence, and multi-class into some barbarian, you know? So like the barbarian cleric, like,
yeah,
he can heal, but he can also destroy.
Yeah. Well, and also like his berserk, it is a really easy tie-in to like raging. So that'd be pretty interesting. I like that idea. I was gonna say like his multi-class being like what his original programming was. So I was actually gonna say rogue, which there's already rogue representation at the table, but you know, it was kind of like a secret killer.
Yeah.
So I could see something like that. Muradil said, as an optimizer, Ashton can multi-class into fighter. Barbarian and fighter are really common pairs. Or Orem could even do warlock or paladin. So yeah, pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah,
That's fun to think about.
yeah. Well,
I wonder if. Okay, well, never mind. If I remember this, we'll have this conversation in our podcast after you've seen the episode. I'm probably not going to remember, but maybe saying this will make me remember.
Glim or Glimmy. I don't actually know how to say your name.
I hope it's Glim because I've been saying Glim for like 3 years.
I think I mentioned this story, but I have a podcast for my business, and I had a woman on that I was talking to like for 45 minutes. And then finally at the end, I was like, well, Tamika, tell everyone how to best reach out to you. And she was like, well, it's Tamika. I was like, great. It's been an hour of us talking, but I'm glad you told me on air at the end. But anyway, Glim said, question, is Nanomori the greatest NPC in Exandria or merely a top 3? I'm stating my subjective opinion as objective fact, as a general satire of human discourse online. I also genuinely think she has taken my top spot. Nanomori has been very interesting as a character for sure. Yeah.
Which, again, I'm not going to spoil anything, but this most recent episode, there was nothing new uncovered about Nanomori, but that kind of is showcased in this most recent episode a bit.
Yeah. Okay.
This is tough, man. I can't answer this on the spot like this. I gotta think about this, but I would first have to think like, let's narrow the playing field down for
it's
like NPCs.
It's gotta be
like,
campaign 3, right?
Campaign 3, but also like maybe NPCs that are more than just like a one-off.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like me, for example, like the little
the
lizard fairy things. Yeah. But so if we're condensing it to like showing NPCs, recurring, that's the word I was looking for. Recurring within campaign 3, absolutely she's top 3 for me.
Dude, this has got to be our draft, by the way.
Yeah, that would be good.
Idea. I like her a lot. I miss Lord Esteros or Esteros. I can't remember how it was pronounced. I really liked him as a character too.
Yeah.
I'm bummed that he's gone. So, but yeah.
His cookies live on.
His cookies, through FCG.
Is he your top favorite, like number 1
in the campaign?
Like for that subsection of NPC we were trying to define.
I haven't seen enough of the other campaigns to, I feel like,
just campaign 3.
Yeah, just campaign 3. Yeah, I mean, if I was gonna cheat, I'd give a half answer and say Dorian, which is a PC, but in the sake of the current story is kind of an NPC. But Dorian Storm's probably my all-time favorite character.
Ooh,
yeah,
okay.
I really loved how Robbie played Dorian.
You like Dorian more than Laudna, huh?
Well, if we're talking about like at the table,
you said all-time favorite character, so I'm just making sure.
At the table, Oh man, it's impossible to answer. It's
Yeah,
impossible.
this would be interesting to like you said, do like a draft or something, or come with a couple questions that like we have some time to think about, and then like hit each other with our lists in the episode or something.
Yeah. Well, we're getting to the end of our time. I will go back to the poll question. We'll have a little D&D conversation as we're wrapping up today. I deleted it, but I had seen most of the responses. We asked the question, what's your favorite starter item or starter-esque item that you yourself love to play with or that you love to give to your players? The 4 options were, and I'll ask him and I'll see what your answer is, Will. When we say starter-esque, we're talking about items that like don't necessarily break the game. Like it wouldn't be like a vestige of Divergence, but it's like a fun item to get. There's some utility there.
Like the circlet of barbed vision.
Yeah, that they got, in the first session or episode 2. By the way, Brewmancer said Captain Xandus and Ren were a couple of their favorites. I love both those characters.
Yeah.
The 4 items, though, a movable rod, decanter of endless water, ever smoking bottle, and bag of holding.
I can still see the poll, by the way.
Oh, you can? Perfect.
Yeah.
What are the? I can't actually see it for some reason.
The results, I don't know how many people voted, but the results are 45% immovable rod, 45% bag of holding, and 9% decanter, which that doesn't add up to 100, does it? No, wait. Okay, never mind. I thought it was 55. Never mind.
No, you're right. It doesn't add up to 100. It adds up to 99.
Oh, okay.
What you doing here, YouTube? It's got to be a rounding thing. So, and it just changed. We just got another vote, actually.
Oh.
I can see it now. I'm on the right tab. So,
oh, nice.
What would your answer be?
Between these 4, probably the rod.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I would rather have the bag of holding, like in terms of like a useful item.
Mm-hmm.
But my favorite would be the rod because like there's so many cool things you can do with that.
Yeah.
You know, the bag of holding is just storage, which is awesome, and like you need to have it basically. But
yeah,
the rod's just fun.
It is fun, and I think sometimes when you DM a campaign, like you try to find items that are meaningful to the players. And the problem we often run into is like the easiest like items to grab are like the +1, +2, +3. I mean, +3 would be insane, but these items that feel powerful, and then understand that like the more you give those away, like the power climb, it starts to get kind of exponential, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right wording, but I like these sort of utility items because they feel fun and it gives players options to ask. I gave I think one of the first ones I gave out was the decanter of endless water. 2 years later, this thing still gets used almost every session.
Really?
And the player that has it actually kind of overuses it, where like she tries to find ways to like break the encounter with it, and I'm like,
yeah,
it's still not what it does. So she's like, I drowned the villain with it. I'm like, you can't really.
We hold open his mouth and just
it's a child. What's wrong with you? So I agree with you that bag of holding, it's kind of like a typical like every party wants to get it kind of item, but it's also doesn't have like the same utility. And then my campaigns, we don't play with encumbrance either. So like some of the value I think is lost in the bag of holding. So
yeah.
But
agreed. Yeah, I like that a lot though. These like fun utility, like instead of giving everyone a +3 sword, and you might like disrupt the balance of your game.
Yeah, it's
definitely cool to give these fun items and see how they can get creative with them, for sure.
I will say Muradil just had a funny answer that reminded me of something. They said, in my campaign, we used the bag of holding to infiltrate a tower. Some of the party went into the bag, and then the wizard dimension doored us into the tower and then just pulled us out of the bag. We saw this a little bit in campaign 3, but also in one of my campaigns, they had a person they had to like rescue, and they just like dunked them into the bag of holding, and then every 10 minutes they were like, we want to give them some air. But then in campaign 3 they put a couple of guards in there, and they're like, I think they're dead. I'm pretty sure they're dead. So which poor borderer. Something else I did in one of my campaigns to kind of create some more flavor around bag of holding, I got this idea. I think it was either like on a comment somewhere or maybe on Reddit, but it's a bag of contempt. And it's like a possessed bag of holding that like hurls like disappointments and insults at the party whenever they use it.
That's funny.
So just to add like
that.
a little extra flavor to it.
Have you heard of the Bagman?
No, I haven't.
This is really cool like concept that somebody came up with, and it's like this entity that's like a horror movie type entity that like traverses through like the dimension that bag of holdings go to, and so like it can come out of your bag of holding and like murder your party while they're sleeping type of thing.
I can imagine every time you use the bag of holding, there's like a D100 rolled or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, that's terrifying.
It's a really cool, like I don't remember, there's some like write up about it or something somewhere, but I dove into that rabbit hole one night.
I would never do this because I don't really like it from like a DM perspective, but I read a thread a few years ago about a DM who gave their party like this magical item that was really cool, but they like never did detect magic or something to realize that it was cursed. And every time they cast a spell using it, it added like a stored charge that would do like 2d8 fire damage. And the DM was writing that at this point they had like 180 charges on it. And so they were like, yeah, at some point it's going to blow up and kill everybody.
Yikes.
Which again, I wouldn't do that, but that sense of suspense is kind of fun. So
for sure.
All right. Well, we're wrapping up our conversation today. Will, any final comments or thoughts?
Yeah, we, if you guys didn't see, join the Discord first of all, but if you didn't see, we have set a time for our watch party this Sunday for Christmas Eve. We're going to be watching The Night Before Christmas, and that'll be at 10:30 a.m. Central US time, but I created an event in the Discord. So I think that converts to whatever your local time is. So if you want to join us for that, please do. It should be a good time. And I think that's the only thing I wanted to mention.
Yeah. So we'll have that on Sunday. We'll have a couple of videos next week. I think we'll do Worlds Beyond next week and maybe kind of like a final wrap-up video for the year. But yeah, we love you guys. Merry Christmas. Have a happy holiday. And get some good rest and eat some good food, you know?
That's right.
So
'tis the season for that.
That's right. All right. We will see you all later.
Thanks for coming by today, y'all.